After Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, we're heading to Nairobi, the capital of Kenya. Everyone was trying to sleep. Besides 2 children, they were running around like crazy in the flight. Since there weren't many people in the flight, everyone took 3-4 seats to sleep on, like a full-size bed.
It's really wonderful.
What's your name?
My name is Turkey.
Turkey.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I had a nice conversation with one of the stewards on the flight, and somehow I will try to see if I can send him a link of this video, as I promised him. Bye bye.
We'll see you again.
Thank you. Bye bye. The flight took about 2.5 hours, and now we are changing flight in Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia. But here we will just make a short stop at the airport. It was really hard to find electrical sockets that were working, but here I could find 2, so I could recharge my computer and my phone. This airport is over 2,000 meters over sea level, and it's one of the highest up one in the world. After a few hours waiting, it was time to board the flight to Nairobi. I think this person broke the record on bringing on carry-on luggage on the flight. I tried to help him by saying this bag won't fit up there, even if you try, but he wanted to try anyway. My bag was half the size, and it wasn't any problem to put it up there. I got a little bit worried when I saw them wearing big blue gloves, and I was wondering what kind of epidemic situation we have here. I had a nice conversation with the young guy next to me, and he was studying in Addis Ababa but was going home to his family in Kenya. Total flight time from Jeddah to Nairobi was about 5 hours, and now we are halfway down in Africa. I had about 8 hours at the airport, but instead of just sitting at the airport, I decided to buy a visa online and headed down to downtown Nairobi. Interesting name, Wall Street Business Park. The air conditioning wasn't working in the car, so we had to drive with the windows down because it was around 30 degrees Celsius outside. We drove by Nairobi National Park, which is very close to downtown area, but we didn't see any animals. The Uber driver wanted to explain a little bit about the history of Kenya.
What does Uhuru means?
Yeah, it's just the word. Uhuru means it's like when you go, it's independent. From the word independent. Yeah.
But for example,
When we acquired independent from British.
When you normally go from the airport to downtown area, you drive on a toll road, but since the Uber driver didn't have any cash and I only had credit cards, not their money, we had to go around on the roads that you didn't need to pay to drive on. The closer downtown, the more traffic and more people you could see, and it was getting really slow.
Now we are close, I can see it. Yeah. It's the main
So you are familiar with it?
Yeah, main entrance on this side.
No, I'll drop you on the other side.
Yeah.
The Uber driver told me I shouldn't walk around here, but well, I was there and I was thinking, well, let's just use the expression Hakuna Matata.
You can see that door?
The door there?
Yes.
Is at the main entrance?
Yes. But I'll drop you on the other side.
Okay.
Yes, I'll show the entrance on that side.
You know, I can't go out here.
And this is the drop off.
You know, it's impossible here.
It's impossible.
No, it's impossible here. I can't.
You know, you see the end of this grill.
Huh? I want to go to the entrance because I'm not going out here.
Okay, let me
You know.
pick her first.
Yeah, pick her up.
For a few seconds I was actually thinking of just go back to the airport instead. But I said Hakuna Matata.
I'm not trying to drop you here, then you can walk.
Okay.
Just
Where
you
are?
see the end. This is the archive.
Yes, I know, but the entrance is on the other side.
No, I can't go around that side.
No, but you can
We drop on the-
drop me off around the corner, because that's where the person told me.
Put your camera in the bag. You put your camera in the bag.
Yes, I will do that. After some dealing and wheeling with the lady, the cashier, they're actually closing now and they're not supposed to let me in. But I got 10 minutes and I paid her in Swedish money and she accepted that somehow, with a smile, as always. Geleda mask, Noruba, tribe Noruba. Good smile.
About 30 years ago I used to live next to a person that was an expert in African art, and I was always wondering why he had 3 special security locks on his door and even an alarm. One day he asked me if I wanted to come in and have a look, and when I came into his apartment it was like a museum. There were quite a lot of different wooden masks, a lot of different African art, and he also showed me a catalog from one of the more famous auction firms in the world. Then I understood the value of this kind of art. After a quick visit at the National Archive, I was out walking on the streets, looking for a restaurant. The only way to move forward was actually walk on the street, not on the sidewalks, because there they were selling a lot of stuff and there was a lot of people everywhere, and it was even extremely hot outside, so it wasn't very comfortable. But what to do? Just move on. When I was walking along the street, I thought it was a restaurant upstairs. I walked up and had a look. There was no restaurant up there, just a lot of small stores, so I had to head back down on the streets again to see where I could find a restaurant. From here I spotted a restaurant on the second floor on the other side of the road, so I tried to head over there. Here we have restaurant Picasso, a steakhouse. Let's see if they can live up to that name.
Hi there. Yes. Mama. Yeah. Good.
Here was the next problem. They didn't accept any credit cards, and I couldn't understand how that could be the case, because Nairobi is supposed to be a developed city. But anyway, I made a deal with the waiter and paid with dollars and also some pounds I had. After some time at the restaurant, I took a cab back to the airport. suddenly there was a motorbike that was accidentally driving into the car and just drove away, but the cab driver went out to see what had happened, and he wasn't very pleased. On the way back to the airport, we drove by the National Assembly.
Well, this was a new thing. Here is the entrance to the airport area, and now everyone has to go out from the car and get screened before you can go back into your car and continue to the airport. That's the first time I've seen this kind of organization. That's how it is.
After the first screening, in order to get into the airport area, it was time for the next screening. And everything was really slow and people were getting a little bit upset. Now it's time to understand what Hakuna Matata means.
Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase.
Hakuna Matata means there are no problems or no worries. It's Swahili, one of the two official languages beside English in Kenya. Now it's time to board the next flight. See you at the next destination.
Malaysia, this is my friend Michael.
In the last episode we were talking about the three most important areas in order to get into good shape: sleep, food and training, and we concluded that the sleep part, it's necessary to reach 7 to 8 hours for adults and 8 to 9 hours for teenagers. And in terms of food, you have to try to reduce the carb intakes, and focus more on protein intake in order to feel full longer, and in terms of training, resistance training with some cardio is without any doubt the most efficient way to gain muscle mass in order to function in a good way long term. In the last episode we also talked about caffeine, how it affects your deep sleep negatively, and that you should try to stay away from it as much as you can. Let us talk about food, and before we dive into what kind of food that is good and bad, we can divide the 3 different areas, the so-called macronutrients that you need, in 3 groups: carbohydrates, proteins and fats. And carbohydrates is the body's primary source of energy, and the proteins is the building block for building muscle and repairing and maintaining also muscle mass. And if we look at the fats, it's just a concentrated source of energy. So if we look at what kind of food that includes a lot of carbohydrates, it's like fruits, vegetables, grains, and these are the so-called good carbohydrates in comparison to sugar or starch. Starch is just complex carbohydrates, and it's a extremely fast way to get blood sugar spikes. Good sources for proteins are meat, fish, eggs and dairy like cheese, and you can also go for plant-based proteins like beans and nuts. Food sources with a high content of fats are, for example, avocados, nuts, seeds and fatty fishes. And to simplify why a lot of people are getting overweight is just because they eat too much carbohydrates in relation to how much their body uses during a day. To say it in a simple way, we are eating too much carbohydrates like sugar or sugary drinks, cookies, biscuits, all that kind of stuff, and eating too little proteins that make us feel much fuller longer. In this episode I will not dive very deep into the food area, but in general you should have a plate with more than half of the plate should consist of food from the protein group, just a small portion of potatoes or rice, and at the same time add good amount of vegetables. And that is a healthy plate if you want to stay healthy long term. And if you don't eat meat, you can go for a plate of other kind of protein sources like eggs and beans, and add some sweet potatoes and different kind of vegetables. Food is, in my opinion, the most important part in order to get into good health and shape, but unfortunately it's the hardest part for people to adjust to. But if you start to understand the importance of protein for a healthy life, you have already gone much further than most people. Well, hope to see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye bye.